5, 6 for 4. That is what India have got after all the criticism that was coming their way, especially with Indian batting. I think they've taken out all their anger on
Poor
the
Zimbabwe.
one team. Bichara, poor, whatever you'd like to call them. They were at the receiving end today, which also happens to be the second highest T20 score in World Cup ever.
Behind Sri Lanka's 260 against Kenya,
Kenya
2007.
Yeah. But for India, this is the highest in T20 World Cup history.
No, that too they had gone much earlier only. They had become highest.
And it broke the previous record in this T20 World Cup, 254 by West Indies against Zimbabwe.
For Zimbabwe.
In 2 matches, 40 overs, Zimbabwe have conceded 510 runs in 2 matches. West Indies, Mumbai. And what a return for Zimbabwe playing India after 24 years. They're playing India after 24 years.
I mean, of course, we'll talk about India's batting, which has been outstanding. Everyone today came to the party. But before we dive into India's batting, I must say, even Zimbabwe, I just couldn't understand what they're doing. It was quite a bit of a shock. Sikandar Raza was effective as soon as he came out to bowl. You were getting hammered. That's a ploy that you've used earlier in the tournament, having him bowl in the power play. Hardly anything with that. Your standout bowler have been Evans and Muzrabani. They weren't even used at the time that India were plundering the bowlers. So you know that the game is going to be taken away from you at that position. I mean, throughout, the kind of decisions that Zimbabwe took with their bowling, that just completely baffled me. I'm not, again, as I said, this was a good pitch. This was a pitch where I think even before the first ball was bowled, everyone made a prediction. I was in Thak at the time, like the game had started and they were still live. So they asked me, I said 215 because I expected India to get a lot of runs. So I'm not saying that this was unexpected, but even then, that 215, 220, which India could have, been kept at, had Zimbabwe followed the logical thing which they had been doing well, which was the reason why they had gone so far in the tournament, undefeated in the group stage, completely baffles me of what they were thinking. I don't know. Why wouldn't you get your spinners early on, knowing fully well India's had a lot of problem? Yes, I know they got Sanju, Samson in there, but even then, you had your left-handers who've had trouble against spinners. Your spinners who do well weren't even gotten as early as they should have. Your fast bowlers that have been your standout, except with Ngarva who they got in early, but Evans and Muzrabani, the 2 other bowlers who did very well, one got in, and at the other spinner also, I think they gave him just 1 over if I'm not mistaken.
Ryan Ball.
Just gets 1 over at a decent outing. That's what I'm saying. Completely baffling with what Zimbabwe
today, if you look at your entire spinners, they just got 6 overs. 6 overs. And they conceded a total of 55 runs. 6 overs for 55 at an economy rate of less than 10.
Yeah.
Whereas look at Ngarva, one of the Twin Towers conceded 60 or 15. Muzrabani, the best bowler that Zimbabwe has had, 10. Again, Tino Tenda Maposa came into this side because he replaced Graham Kramer. Kramer, who was the ultimate factor in that Australia game, you don't play him in Chepauk.
And you make him bowl the 3rd over.
Clearly rattled. Look at it, the first over.
No over to Evans or Muzrabani, and the player who's just come in as a replacement bowls the 3rd over. I was enjoying it. I was like, okay, offering free gifts after free gifts and not going to their main guys. But
they had no plans, because primarily what happened, okay, if India didn't make that change of Sanju Samson, they thought, okay, now we can't bowl our off spinner.
No, but that's their foolishness.
It's their foolishness.
So if you're saying they came up with plans and then they saw India change that one batter on top, I'll still go with my, tried and tested formula that's been doing well for me. Okay, fine. Let's say the first over is not bowled. Like sometimes Sikandar Raza has bowled the first over is not bowled by him. But 1 or 2 overs have been bowled. They've hammered you. 3rd over, he gets to bowl. They get their first spinner after power play.
Yeah, that's the major flaw they made. They got spooked because, India, they now got not 3 left-handers, you got 1 right-hander in the midst.
The problem also was, I think they got hit in the first 1 or 2 overs and then whatever strategy they had just disappeared.
Yes.
But if you look at the game earlier today, South Africa got hit for 30 runs first 2 overs.
But they stuck to their
Yeah, exactly.
But see, that's the difference between an experienced team who knows what it is to win a tournament, WTC, vis-a-vis a Zimbabwe who got here because, let's face it, Australia were rubbish. That's not taking nothing away from Zimbabwe.
And also Sri Lanka also shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, but then
They
were doing
batted
that.
well, though, Zimbabwe. You have to
Zimbabwe.
give credit.
No,
And
even-
they're bowling as well.
even
Yeah,
if-
these guys
The
are
bowling is done
in the
well.
Australia
It's just
match,
today,
they-
2 overs they got smacked, and then I felt like any plan just went out of the window. Because otherwise, if I'm and I've said this in the past about a Mitch Santner when he's not stepped up and bowled when necessary in the death during the bilateral series, as a captain. Boss, take responsibility. I'll tell the same thing to Sikandar
No, I
Raza.
don't
As a
quite
captain,
think
take responsibility.
They had their craft in place. I don't think the plans were drawn up very well for this Indian team. Simple reason, even when, albeit the
But
spinners
you
came
tell
in
me
late.
the plans are not drawn. You're there. I'm just saying you will react. You're the captain. You'll react to the situation. These guys know cricket very well. They've played. Sikandar Raza, for example. So if let's say you had one plan, it's not working. The whole world and their uncle and aunties know that India is having trouble with spin in the power play.
You didn't do
You're
that,
not
right?
doing that.
You didn't
So
do that,
I
right?
can't understand that.
There is another reason.
No,
also.
even when, albeit late, even when spin came into the picture, you were bowling slot deliveries. Hardik Pandya has been given deliveries in the slot. He just needs to clear his
By
leg.
that time
and
it was too late. Too late. See, too late.
Therefore-
You've given. See, imagine I'm saying you can't judge the spinner's performance later because if I'm Hardik Pandya, I'm coming out to bat when we are sitting at 150 for 2. Vis-a-vis, I'm coming out to bat when you are 34 for 4 or 80 for 6. I'm not batting the same way. I'm not taking the. So the spinner's not looking good a little later. Anyway, they looked the best as Siddharth gave the figures. But even more so when you really need to seize the initiative. No, the game, T20 game here, it's all done and dusted in the first 6-8 overs. If you've not gotten anything, you're gone.
I'll put
Disappointing
it
thing
this
over
way,
here
see.
is it didn't look like a
You finish it, man.
It didn't look like a Super 8's game. It looked like a group stage game.
Leave all that aside. To the point of the strategy, look, you got Sanju Samson in the 4th over. That meant the 5th or 6th over, you realistically could have brought on, Raza could have brought himself on.
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, there were 2 left-handers. Who were the 2 left-handers? Ishan and Abhishek. What have they been struggling against? Off spin. What does Sikandar Raza bowl? Off spin. It's so obvious. It's so bleedingly obvious. And I'm like, why isn't Raza coming on? Why isn't Raza coming on? He didn't come on. Which is weird because at that point, from 48 for 1, if you end the power play with them, say 60 for 2, 60 is a good start because you're going at 10 and over. But then suddenly again, you're thinking the same thing. Oh God, I've lost 2 wickets, another off spinner. And then, see, momentum and confidence are a hell of a drug. Pandya has been pretty useless, if I'm being very honest, with the bat throughout the tournament. But
No, he got again in Namibia or somewhere.
Guided.
it's okay.
It's Namibia.
I mean,
Yeah.
just mentioning
lads,
facts.
It's Namibia.
Yeah.
But here he comes in 150 for 3, knowing full well that, listen, boss, at this point in time, I am up against a bowling unit whose confidence is shot. There's a good score on the board. No better time than now to come back into form. So confidence is a thing. I'm just saying, if Raza gets 1 over in the power play, 60 for 2 there, nothing is stopping him from bowling himself out. And then in the middle overs also, it's not like he was bowling badly. He was restricting the flow of runs. So why didn't he bowl his full quota? Why did a Burl not bowl more?
That is
I
the
don't
thing.
understand.
See, all the games that they won were in Sri Lanka, where the pitches were giving assistance to sluggish turn. Okay. 2 games, is it any coincidence that they struggled for 510 runs in 40 overs?
No, but today weren't their spinners bowling better than
Better.
their-
Now, I'll
then
tell you why.
still, I'm not saying that they could have restricted batters or
Under
the
200,
opposition to
yeah.
what they did in Sri Lanka.
Yep.
Obviously,
least 200,
210, you would give
Yeah.
yourself a chance. No, I'm
Yep.
just saying this in today's scenario where we all knew this was going to be a belter. I'm guessing even if I'm Zimbabwe today, I'm expecting a 200ish kind of total and then backing myself to chase it. Once it reaches 250 plus territory, then I know I've leaked one too many.
Because it's also bad planning. They didn't do their research. Which is
What
the
research was needed is my point. The whole world,
The whole world knows
No,
what the
because
problem
Yeah,
is.
research is when you
We've
come
been-
up with
we've been
something
singing it.
great insight.
Because I'll tell you why. If they got spooked by the Sanju Abhishek right left, which is the one thing that Sanju Samson struggles against? Leg spin. And who bowls leg spin? Ryan Burl. Where does the left-hander struggle against?
Ball
Off
bowls
spin.
just 1 over by the way.
Yeah.
That is the
exactly.
problem. He could have bowled in the power play. He could have, and remember, he's not a guy who flights the delivery. He bowls fastish leg breaks, so he can vary the pace and length also. You know that Sanju has a problem against leg spin. Okay, if you had known how is the situation, you used him, but
And
you couldn't
also,
use him.
I'm sorry, if you are getting spooked, no disrespect to either of our lads, by Sanju and Abhishek now, then you deserve to lose. Abhishek had no form throughout, and Sanju was only brought back because you needed a right hand at the top of the order. On merit, he doesn't deserve to be on the playing 11. Let's be very frank. So if you got spooked by them, then 256 for 4 is what you
They've
deserve.
done exactly the kind of mistake that India made against South Africa while picking their 11. How many left-handers were there? We counted. David
3.
Mirror, Ryan Rickleton, Quinton de Kock. What did you do? Not play Akshar Patel. Why? Because there are 3. What about the other right-handers?
No, West Indies made that mistake. Akil Hussain, they didn't play again,
best
going
winner.
for what Akshar they made. Akshar sit down.
For Washington, they brought in Roston Chase.
Exactly,
Chase,
the West Indies did that, and then Roston Chase came first over some, I don't know where, 9th, 10th or some. Somewhere
he was
there.
stunned today.
But you got him for that, then bring him, no?
At the
Bring him
final lap,
early.
though.
So again, teams are really getting things tactically wrong. I know we really want to discuss about India's batting because truth be told, this has been about India's batting, and especially coming after them looking a bit rusty. So this is a welcome change. As an Indian fan, you'll feel very happy to see 2-5-6. They should serve them well in all the must-win games that they'll be playing even after this. That is going to be versus West Indies and then semi-final and going forward from there. But I think we'll keep all of those analysis for a post-match because game started, but we do have a few questions, so we don't want to let go of that opportunity. So let's finish and take those questions so that we have enough time in our post-match show to look at, I know Sanju, Samson, Hardik, Pandya, Abhishek Sharma getting back into form. Plenty to talk about on that front, but we'll take a few quick comments that we've got.
Yep. Praneet Datta saying, Sanju started it, played for a team player.
Does he have a choice? He has to be a team player. Poor guy's getting an opportunity. He may as well take it.
Yeah, but what you do like about, and I understand what Praneet is saying, that even if you're in a bit of a precarious situation like Sanju has been,
You can
in
just
and
take
out,
your runs.
but he, with him, he'll go for it.
The only funny thing was that there's a man rather out of form, I would say, out of favor as well. That there's him who's thrown in the mix, and then there's an out of form batter in Abhishek. And you're contemplating who should be the one to take the strike.
Yeah. But both, would you believe it? It did seem like Sanju was shielding
Abhishek, exactly.
But it worked. Who would have thought? But it
But
worked.
that's a different. It's obviously we've got to be talking about it. Now we see 2 Sanju innings. Today again, does he do enough? The other day it was a 9-ball, 8-ball,
that's
22.
a big debate.
It's a big
9 ball
debate, yeah.
22 and 10 ball 24.
Are we really lowering the bar over here? Where we're okay with a 20 or
No,
of
we'll
8
keep
or
it,
a
we'll keep it.
31?
I will take that over a 4-ball duck.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Are we lowering the bar for ourselves, or this is exactly the template? We'll try and answer that in a couple of hours time from now.
Yeah. Hour and a
Rakesh
half.
is...
Hour and a half, easy
Yeah.
peasy,
Yeah.
quick.
No, your game should be done in hour and a half.
Yeah,
Either
yeah.
ways.
First
Rakesh
of all,
Bhushan
Bennett
says...
could get dismissed for the first time in the T20 World Cup.
Who hasn't been dismissed yet?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Rakesh Bhushan says, is this the combination India will play right through the tournament, barring Kuldeep for Arshdeep, depending on conditions, or will we see more tinkering?
Oh.
I think the situation now won't allow you to tinker.
You
I
have
have
a
a
choice.
feeling because you win this. How do you now change the team for West Indies game? You can't, right?
I
because
still have my reservations.
they won't change it.
I know.
No, you.
Yeah.
Our choice versus what team is doing. I think he's asking what the team will do. I think if you win today, you're not making changes, and then you reach the semis, you're anyway not making a change, and then a loss is the only way where you can make a change. But that loss would mean end of
No,
tournament.
but you're not reaching the semis yet.
Oh, Bennett.
So I'm saying if you win.
I don't know if this
Change.
bodes well. I don't know.
That's as I said, it's a different debate. But just where you are in the tournament,
No.
yeah,
You can't.
you won't be
You
doing
can't.
it.
And Kolkata, I think, won't give you that luxury. The pitch is also...
Yeah, I see. I know the ends are justifying the means, but
No, you
It
can
should-
you could be.
yeah, I analytically
disagree. That's
have
fine.
a
That's
different view about it.
Praneet again is saying, Zim got it tactically wrong, giving pace to Tilak. Why
Yeah.
no off-spinner did not come in when Ishan Tilak came in? Yep. Why Mapusa in place of Kramer? Why? I know. Why did you drop Graham Kramer? He was your best bowler in Sri Lanka. You drop him. In conditions
Make it
you're
make sense.
supposed to...
You know what happens when they're tactically so poor? The rest of the world will start saying one thing, which I think would be very unfair. But you know that
The world may have already
No,
that
has
chatter
already,
has
has
begun.
already.
Yeah.
the world it started when West Indies was having a collapse, then had to do a U-turn quickly. what to do?
Everybody,
I love the conspiracy theories at that time.
India
Those
favorite punching bag because where India are. Yes.
it's a global community. Rakesh Bhushan, hang on, it's Zimbabwe. Even though USA gave us stuff, Nikhil, do you think India are out of the woods or with stronger opposition, India will find it difficult?
Too early to answer.
Too early, yeah.
I mean, we will obviously try and answer that question in a post-match. But I'd fancy India even versus West Indies.
Yeah.
I think what you saw of West Indies, they do have some weaknesses. I hope you play on a good batting pitch as well. The mistake that you made versus South Africa, don't do it. Look at South Africa today. You played on a belter of a pitch and you said, okay, us versus you, let's see. And then the better team emerged victorious. It's only when you come up with pitches that can be a bit tacky, then toss comes into it, situation, all that. Play on a good batting pitch. I know West Indies are also good. They'll try and be attacking. But back yourself, back your bowlers, back a Bumrah, back a Varun Chakravarti. Say that they are better than you and then back your batting lineup the way it is.
Yep, indeed. Okay, Shaurya Nanda saying, I feel like saying Ghana na gira aaye patra after this bludgeoning. Huge sigh of relief. Yeah. Can happen. Yeah.
Today the song I was singing was, in the morning was This Time for Africa.
Waka waka.
Waka.
Yeah.
This time for
It worked.
Africa. Because honestly, that game, now that you look back, if West Indies had won today, it was done. India's World Cup was over even before the first ball here was bowled.
Yeah,
Correct.
for all practical purposes, it was done.
Yeah.
You would have needed to chase in 2 balls, something like that. Some ridiculous
not
number would have
two.
come up.
See, we are not in Pakistan's shoes now. We aren't. Because fate is in our hands now.
Yeah.
For Pakistan, the margin is 70. That because
No. Pakistan margin is not 70. Pakistan may not have any margin.
Yeah.
It may be done tomorrow.
Exactly.
New Zealand
New Zealand win.
nothing.
Then no
Tata
margin.
bye bye.
There's no margin.
Then they can both Sri Lanka and Pakistan just come dance around and go back also. Wouldn't matter.
Irrelevant.
Yeah. So there's that margin only comes into play if. And by the way, let's be honest. In that scenario that New Zealand lose, though I think New Zealand will be favourites to win against England. I certainly think they're a better team. But in that scenario, they lose also. For Pakistan to even beat Sri Lanka, forget 70 runs and all.
Good luck.
Exactly.
well, we are now almost gearing up for a repeat of 2019 World Cup if that's the case. If it happens. Or a 2022.
How 2019? Australia is gone.
No, I'm talking about India. India versus New Zealand
So
could
just
happen.
India's.
India,
Just
2019,
India's,
that way.
Ah.
If New Zealand beat England. But if it is not, it's 2022. India versus England, semi-final. Yeah.
Sure, Anka.
After today's performance, Surya will be the happiest because now he can attend the press conference with confidence.
But by the
You
way, he
accused him
always
of great
he always attends press conferences with confidence.
Exactly.
With
You
his
like
You
it
accused
or
him
not?
of excessive confidence the other day.
Yeah, but I had said it.
I don't mind it.
Even
I
I
don't
don't
care.
mind it. That's his personality.
He can do whatever he likes as long as he wins India cricket matches.
Agreed. I know, sometimes my mind goes back to certain players who are like, like certain boxers who like, not trash talk, but really talk themselves up. Obviously, if they lose, then you'll mock them, make fun of it. But that
But
shouldn't.
it works for them.
Yeah, but it shouldn't change their personality or the way they approach a match. And if Sky does that, so be it. Yes, if you wait for it, okay, such confidence, such arrogance, you're waiting for them to lose.
A lot of people wait.
Yeah, but then that's not correct.
In today's day and age of social media, the
No.
numbers only increase.
I am not saying everyone has to subscribe to it. There could be people that are not fond of such high-handedness. Maybe that's fine. To each his own.
Indeed.
Point is that some people like Shane Warne off the field. Some didn't.
Yeah.
But Shane Warne remained Shane Warne.
He remained unapologetically himself.
Steve Roger Wall.
No. I'm not talking about cricket. You're saying difference between Surya and Shane Warne as a player, yes. But there are times where he would also look foolish, right?
Demeanor we're talking
It's not
about, no?
always that you get to do what you. He came to India also and said, I've developed this delivery, that delivery, got hammered in India.
Yeah.
But nobody then said, oh, your arrogance. No, that you took him the way he is. He didn't have a great record against India, but you respect him for the player that he was. Again, if you're critical of him, was also fine. Your mother may not like Shane Warne. That's fine. She likes a good boy, well behaved. She may like Rahul Dravid. That's okay, because that's what
That's
goes.
personal.
Well behaved
Yeah,
child.
exactly.
Yep.
No
Nothing
brawls, no scandals.
Yeah. No Indira Nagar ka gunda. He was anything but that.
Anything but that.
He did have Indira Nagar Gunda moment though.
In real life,
In
actually.
real life.
Right after that ad,
Yes.
somebody banged his car in Bangalore. It was filmed, no? I was like,
Murda Partidi. What? I mean, what did you do here? Murda Partidi.
but he was not being a gunda then. Somebody
he was
banged his
Someone
car.
he was the victim.
And then that didn't happen in Indira Nagar, it happened in Brigade Road. In
Somewhere it happened.
Right. What did you do here? Felt very sad for Rahul.
What's one thing about Rahul Dravid? He's driving a very
Modest car.
always,
Modest car, I remember,
always,
yeah.
always down to earth. So bloody these North cricketers,
Flashy.
Flashy.
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have any more comments, or
course.
we can?
GGK. Sanju.
He's a GGK fan.
He's a Sanju.
Sanju
fan.
made the difference, obviously.
GGK is a Sanju fan. Sir.
True blues.
No,
Sanju.
GGK, you have a point. You have a point. We'll discuss Sanju in our post-match show. Don't worry, we have a lot of time.
Yep. Indeed.
But we'll be on for hour and a half.
Oh.
See, like Zeus is not very happy with that. You know?
Sanju come back only 25 runs, 160 strike rate in power play. Lord Tilak. Okay, 230 strike rate outside the power play. RIP CSK for buying Sanju. Okay, he wasn't quite happy.
What do you make of CSK? I think it's a good buy.
It's a good buy.
He's being harsh on
The
Sanju.
legacy has been transferred. Keeper, batter, MS impact player loading in 2026. That's it. I'm telling you, MS will be the impact player.
Impact player?
Yes. When he comes in as the impact player, the shore meter is going to go through the roof in Chepauk.
Cringe.
He hasn't won an IPL, Sanju.
Yeah, he has.
He hasn't.
Final, that is his achievement. 2020.
Yeah, 22. That's it.
Yeah. He wasn't part of
His
2008.
other achievement. No, he has won one IPL technically. 2012.
Oh yeah.
He was part of the KKR side.
KKR side, yes.
He's technically
so
an
then-
IPL.
And he won it
So
in
then-
Chepauk.
The irony.
Oh.
Yes, 2012.
Yes, you're right.
There you go.
User UP says Sanju ka kehar this was.
Of course.
Love.
Love also.
Love is there in the movie.
Yes.
You're right. Okay, I think the game would be done pretty soon. As and when it is, we're going to be live for a post-match show. So look forward to your company then.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.